It'd be much better if customers wanted to buy from you rather than having to sell to them. So that's the whole key. If you could deeply understand what they need and then create a solution, you're actually helping people. So much better than trying to be some kind of sleazy salesperson. I'm not into that. That's not what we teach. We teach people to listen and deeply understand their customers so they come up with solutions.
Hello, welcome to EdTech Leaders. Today we have Maria Edelson, the founder of Edelson IO. Welcome.
Well, thank you. Thank you for having me.
Thanks so much. So you've been an expert in sales for a long time. Tell me about Edelson.
We do sales training. I spent my entire career in sales. So I'll give you a thumbnail background. I spent 35 years at Procter Gamble, the first 29 years selling in the sales function. And the last part of my career, the remaining 6, I did sales and capability development. And with a small team, we did assessment, curriculum, content, and then delivery for about 2,000 P&G people in North America. When I retired, my family said I had to get another job. And so I started a consulting business to actually use what I learned and teach other people what I knew about selling. So I've got some experience selling and some experience in training people on how to sell. And so Edelson.io is a digital platform that was actually created during the pandemic so that we could transform our live training into a virtual platform so that we could continue to do business and our existing customers could continue to train virtually. So that's how we began. That's how we created Edelson.io. And we are really a niche business. We only do sales training. So we don't do HR, we don't do, product supply, we don't do finance, we do sales training. And we do it for very senior executives, chief commercial officers, all the way down to ICs. And we do it across businesses. I would say that sales is agnostic. I don't really care what you sell. Selling, according to us, is a life skill, not a skill that's dependent upon the product or the service. So that's a little bit about what we do.
So tell me about that a little more, because we think of selling these days as if you're training someone at a company to sell, that they have to know their customers.
Oh, definitely.
Okay. So it's not that it's really different depending on the business, but maybe the theory is the same, the concept, the practice is the same?
So we have a what I would call a framework, right, that is pretty consistent and has been consistent now. We've been using it for 15 years. What we do is we customize it based on the client's business, but it's the same. So, the first part of it, lesson 1 might be deeply understanding your customer's business. To your point, Oliver, very good. So if you have to understand your customer's business, if your customer does jet engines, you deeply understand their business. If they're selling toilet paper, okay, you have to understand their business, right? So the idea is the skill is deeply understanding their business. Doesn't matter what their business is, you still need to understand it. Monetizing value. That's the skill. I don't care if you're monetizing how much you're going to save on the correct service level or a better service level for delivering toilet paper, or how much you're going to save by avoiding risk when you have a service that minimizes disruptions in OSHA regulations. You still have to monetize the value for that customer. So we have a 6-step framework if you want. Doesn't matter what the service or product you're selling. We teach you how to use it for your specific business. Now it's probably more than 50 clients that we've done business with. Many of them are Fortune 100 clients. We've operated in 86 countries. We do the program in 4 languages. And at this point, we've trained almost, I would say, over 15,000 people around the world. So it's not, industry specific.
Right. So even among countries, the framework is the same, cultures, because at the base of it, there's still things you have to understand. Like the same way you go in and you understand your customer's business. So there's the customization, because you have to go into that. And same with cultures. You need to understand your customer's culture.
Right.
Is that right?
So
Okay.
if we had a client that was a global client and we did executions in 4 different continents, the way we would deliver the program might be a little different in Japan than it might be in Australia or in North America. And we have to be able to customize to the individual customer's situation. And that's what we teach people to do with their customers. So we try
Right.
to practice what we preach.
Yeah. So much of sales really isn't about selling at all, is it? It's about listening.
Well, actually, I would say that selling is, again, a life skill, because we're not actually selling. Hopefully, we're not selling anything. Hopefully, what we're doing is listening to what the customer's situation is, their problems, their needs, their concerns, their issues. And then we're coming up with solutions that help them solve for all of those things. And then actually, the outcome of that is they want to buy our product and service in that solution.
Right.
It'd be much better if customers wanted to buy from you rather than having to sell to them. So
Yeah.
that's the whole key. If you could deeply understand what they need and then create a solution, you're actually helping people. So much better than trying to be some kind of sleazy salesperson. I'm not into that. That's not
Yeah.
what we teach. We teach people to listen and deeply understand their customers so they come up with solutions. And we have a framework to do that. We do it with empathy. We do it with humility. We do it with good communication skills. And it's been tried and true over decades. And it produces some pretty great results for the customer, not just for us.
Are there any surprising stories in terms of your customers' transformations? Anything you can think of?
So we have clients that have been with us I have one client that started with us in 2013, still use our program today in 2025. Why? Because it gets results. I have one client that did a proof of concept because they didn't believe what I was telling them. This monetizing. How could they monetize value? Nobody can monetize. They don't have enough data. Could they monetize value? Could they really tell the customer what you want them to say in the beginning of the presentation? Shouldn't we talk about ourselves? So I said, let's do a proof of concept. So they did a proof of concept with 4 people. And then we actually monitor return on investment. So we track results, not just those smile sheets. So of the 4 people, 1 person comes on the phone with us on a webinar. 4 weeks later, we say, so how'd it go? Did you sell anything? Did you make any progress? And the first woman goes on and goes, I'll go. I said, what happened? She goes, so I had a deal. It was worth $1 million USD. I'm in Australia. $1 million USD. She goes, the customer was like hemming and hawing for months. I used our presentation. The guy bought it on the second meeting. She said, it was like magic. I said, oh, are you willing to share that with your boss? She said, oh, I already did. Full contract. It works. It works. So the customers are, once you actually use it, people are like, can't believe the process. But it takes a mindset shift. And the first thing we teach people is you have to stop talking about yourself. So I go to customers and I say, let me see your presentation. So they show me their presentation and it's like 22 slides, PowerPoints of pictures of their product. I'm like, you really showed this to the customer? Yeah, isn't it great? I said, so what does the customer say? Well, we'll think about it. I said, do you know what that means? It means no. Oh, Maria, I don't think so. I think they want us to come back. Okay. So the mindset shift that we have people do is we have to stop talking about ourselves and we talk about the customer. What's their problem? What's the concern, that need that they have that your solution will help them solve? It's a big shift for a lot of people, a big shift for a lot of people. But that's the process. And once you do it and it works, it's like a light bulb turns on in people's head and they go, this is like great. So... But it takes a leap of faith to stop talking about yourself and start talking about the customer.
And you train salespeople in B2B and B2C, everything, right?
Nope.
No.
Only B2B.
Only B2B. Okay.
Only B2B. So we have very large clients that only operate B2B. And we only train companies. We don't train individuals, so we don't have public courses. So a company signs up. And because what we believe in is that everyone should be talking the same sales language and everyone should be using the same sales process. So many clients come to us because they have acquired companies and this company uses this process and this company uses that process, or companies come to us and say, everybody's doing something different. We can't keep track of what's going on. And so this puts everybody on the same playing field. Common language, common framework, common vocabulary, and it also helps managers coach because now they know what they're coaching to. So that's why people come to us.
Are there all kinds of crazy sales techniques out there? I mean, you see stuff on the internet and you see this and that, and I'm not sure what they are half the time, but I'm just curious what your take is on.
I never say anything bad about a competitor, but there's a lot. This is not a hard thing. This is not a hard business. A lot of companies make it complicated or complex, and it doesn't need to be that. But it is hard work. It's hard work to deeply understand your customer. And then it's very hard work to say, what have I got that matches the customer need? So if you can do that, then the sale becomes a buy, right? Then the customer is pulling you rather than you forcing yourself on the customer. So a lot of companies try to make the work light, but the outcome is what I call twirling. You never move forward. You just twirl in the same spot. So I think you have to be willing to invest the time. If you invest upfront, oftentimes the deal closes faster. So we tell people you can sell more, for more, faster, but you have to put the work in upfront.
Let's talk about selling yourself for a minute, because you're training. And how has that changed over the years? What has worked? Is it just the same framework?
Yeah. So I'll tell you, the framework is pretty much the same, but I will tell you that there is one piece of neuroscientific research that has come to light recently. I mean, I've been in the business a long, long time. And recently, we have started to study some neuroscience research on the case for change. And so think about it. When human beings, when we're selling, we're asking the customer to do something different. Replace the incumbent, change the price, take a chance on a different application, change their software. People don't want to change. People love the status quo. And so part of what we talk about is what makes human beings want to change. Do you know? What makes human beings want to change?
An emotional connection.
Give me another reason. You get two tries.
Frustration with current situation.
Close. They don't change for benefit. The neuroscience from Svetsky and Kahneman that did this and won a Nobel Prize for it in 1979 says they change for fear of loss and risk. So all these salespeople that start out by saying, this is such a great idea. you could potentially get $100,000 more revenue with this versus what you're currently doing. We have flipped that script. We would now say, do you realize that if you continue to do what you're currently doing, you could be leaving $100,000 on the table? Same number, same idea, upside down. Fear of loss versus benefit. People will change the benefit has to be 2.5 bigger than the loss for them to change for benefit. So that's one of the big things that has changed that we leverage. And people are like stunned. You look stunned.
That's amazing. Even though I've read in behavioral economics books, I know that people,
It's an intellectual thing, but think about the application of it when you're trying to get somebody to do something different. So when you ask me what's changed, I would say that's one of the biggest things that's changed in getting people to do something different, which is really when you're selling and somebody has a problem and they're stuck and you have a solution, but the solution requires that they change. How do you help them hear that?
Yeah. And I guess it goes into two parts. One could be making them aware of fear of something they're not thinking about, but the other could be just connecting to something they're already anxious about and fear. Right?
Exactly right. So this is a big epiphany for many people as they think about, wow, I could be repositioning my idea and make it easier for the customer to say yes to making the change. So it speeds up the process, which is what we're trying to do, right? Get results faster.
And it's interesting because you think the easiest thing for me to do right now is nothing. Change takes effort. But if you flip it, it's like, oh, but doing nothing now feels like I'm doing something bad.
Right.
Like it has a cost.
I'm FOMO. FOMO. Oh my God, what your competitor is doing? And they're thinking, oh my God, I'm missing out. People hate to be missing out. Let's go back to where we started. You have to do your homework. You have to do your homework to be able to do this, right? If you don't do your homework, if you don't understand the business, if you don't understand the marketplace, you got nothing but, price. Price, don't get me started on price. You have price and you're selling product, a big shiny thing. And if the customer's shiny thing is already the incumbent, you're going to lose.
Fascinating. So in your case, when you're talking to your potential clients, like if you don't act, you're not gonna sell. You'll stagnate. You'll miss out on a lot of opportunities.
Well, one of the things we say, which is really quite true, is if you are not investing in your organization, if your organization is standing still, they're actually moving back. Because why? Your competitors are moving ahead of you. They're moving forward. And they're leaving you behind. So you are literally being left behind. So you're going to need, what are you doing to keep up? What are you doing to create a competitive advantage? What are you doing to get disproportionately better results? And one thing, there are a lot of levers you can pull, but one lever is invest in your organization. It's like the gift that keeps on giving. And a lot of organizations, listen, when revenue is under pressure, you'd be surprised how many organizations look to their people to deliver. And so they want to make sure their people have all the tools, the latest and the best tools in their toolbox so that they can deliver faster, more, and at a better price. So that's what we do. Yeah, it's really interesting.
Where do you want to go in the next 6 months or a year?
So, one of the interesting things about our business is we do very little advertising, and we don't do like SEO, search engine optimization. We don't do any of that stuff. We are blessed by word of mouth. That's how we get clients. So people, hear about our results, and people who have used us talk about our results, and we get a lot of word of mouth referral. But, we're trying now very hard to expand awareness of who we are. Because compared to some of the big, global, I guess we're a global company too, but, global organizations, we're relatively small. So we're trying to increase awareness of who we are. So we've got a LinkedIn effort underway. I am co-authoring a book that will be published at the end of the year. I'm doing podcasts to try to spread the word of what we do and how we do it. So we would love to have more clients. We have a team of consultants that reside all over the world because we're virtual. So we have the capacity to take on new clients. So we're looking to grow. I mean, it would be great to grow. So that's kind of what we're doing. Create awareness to grow.
That's great. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Well, I hope I met your expectations. If there's anything else, people can always reach me on LinkedIn. I'm on LinkedIn at Maria Edelson, so feel free to contact me there. People can DM me if they need to.
And the website is edelson.io.
That's right. Awesome. Great.
Cool.
Oliver, thanks.
All right. Thank you so much.